Hi folks, in this video my hope is to be able to show you how I go about turning some rough blanks for turning lidded boxes. So I'm going to show you how I take a log and I turn it into square, then I turn it into round, and then I turn it into something like this. It's got two pieces with it, with a tenon on each end and hollow, and then they'll be ready to dry out. And then when they're dry, we'll be ready to finish turn them, like I did on my poplar box. So anyway, hope you stick around and I'll show you how I go about doing it. Here is a piece of black walnut that is from a limb that came down from a tree off my property. And I'm going to take that on the bandsaw and I'm going to cut it down and make a square blank out of this. I just want to show you some of this stuff here too. I've been keeping these really thin cutoffs of some of this wood and figured, you know, maybe I might want to do something like veneer some drawers on a little box or something. So I just started keeping them and I'm letting them dry, and you know, I'll have a little collection of them. If I need them, I can use them, and if I don't, well, then eventually I end up burning them or tossing them or doing something. This next step, I have marked the center on each end, and now I'm going to go ahead and mount it up with the spur drive between centers on the lathe. Well, I'll show you even mistakes. I guess I didn't really pay attention to how much of the bark was still left on this particular piece here. So now, otherwise, if I keep turning it until it's off of there, there's not going to be enough for the chuck to grab that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this piece like this, and this will just be a turning blank for something else that's going to be smaller, maybe small ring box or something like that. But at least I'll have one end that I can grip with the chuck, and I can turn the other end, maybe turn some tops, something like that. So there's one blank, but that's not really what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to mount the other piece on there, which doesn't have all that bark on there, and that'll still give me plenty of room off of each end to form my tenon, to part it in half. So take two, I guess, is what I'm saying. Okay, now I've got a tenon turned on each end, and now I'm going to figure out the approximate proportions that I want for my box. And I kind of like to do, sort of like a 2/3, maybe not 2/3, but I don't know. I'm going to throw out the golden ratio, the 1 to 1.16, but I'm just going to eyeball it, really, about right here. And then I'm going to part it into two halves. So I'll have a top and a bottom half. So there it is. I'm just going to cut that off with the bandsaw, and then I'll have two pieces. Now here are the two pieces right here, parted in half. Now I have a top and a bottom. Now I'll mount them in the chuck, and then I'll hollow them out. Okay, I've got the top half mounted in the chuck, and what I'm going to do is I've got a depth drill here, and I just approximate how deep I want it to go, and I can just turn this out of the way here, turn it on slowly, actually scrub that. This is what we do. We need to get somewhere for the drill, the depth drill, to start. So I just take it and make a little cone, and that gives it a place to start. Now we can move this out of the way, mark my depth drill, and then just drive it in there. That's how deep. I'll go a little deeper. Don't have to do a whole lot. And you don't really even have to do the depth hole if you don't want. I just do it for me. I have a tendency to get carried away sometimes. Here's my spindle gouge. Yeah, so you can get in there like this. Make a little dimple. Take the depth drill, approximately how deep I want it, drive it in. Maybe you notice, see how I'm using the tool rest, and I'm also using the piece of wood itself as a rest, because as it's rotating around it has a tendency to want to push it this way and that way. So I'm using this as a rest also. And then that's basically all I do. I'll take this out and it'll be ready to put a date on it. So try to get the best that I can there for you. Show you what it looks like.